All right. So what I'm going to do now, and I'll do this probably again next week as well, I'll just briefly go over the, hang on one second. What did I do with it? I just want to go over the first writing assignment, your short business message. And it's out there and it's available to you. It's due a week from Friday. It's going to be due July 9th. And, you know, lest you get worried about it, it's an email. You're going to be writing an email, and it's ultimately going to be, in terms of, you know, like a Word document, a page or less. Okay. So that's the good news. The bad news is obviously you have to write it. So you will find this in the Canvas modules for this week, and I'll send out another announcement. Try not to overwhelm you guys. I just gave you one for a test. But so it's what I call a short email message. And again, it's due on Friday, July 9th. And I've given you three choices here, three options, three prompts, whatever you want to call them. And actually just the first one, but when we're doing these writing assignments, I'll always pull them from the chapter activities in your textbook. And you can pull those up either in your online textbook, or the other place where they live is, for instance, they're always in, let's see, week 2, week 3, here we go. Short business message. They're always in the chapter activities. You can find them right there. I just put a PDF up there for you. Okay. And also this week, I've got an example of an employment interview confirmation email. All right. So here's your options. There's 3 of them. You just need to pick one. Exercise 7.15, it says entrusting your data to the cloud. And there's more information in the chapter activities. You'll want to read through that. So in this case, so your boss has asked you to write an email briefly discussing the benefits and drawbacks of cloud storage. Based on the drawbacks and benefits, recommend whether your organization should move data storage to the cloud. Also, please include background information to your boss discussing why your company is considering moving. There's no right answer here. You could say, yes, we should move for these reasons, or no, we shouldn't for these reasons. But what you're going to have here is, especially when you're comparing something, is this is a great place to use a table, you know, or use headings in there. You know, you might want to say, here are the benefits and drawbacks, and then go benefits with a heading, and then list a couple bullet points. Drawbacks with a heading, list a couple bullet points. The key thing here is I'm asking you to decide. So state, you know, number one, state your recommendation right up front, and then back it up with the information that you're showing. Don't leave me hanging. All right. And there's more information about this particular assignment. Again, if you go look at those chapter activities, and under 7.15, it's got a little additional information about that. All right. So that's one option. The second option, it says an information memo, the number 7.88. What do I do on the job? This is not in the textbook. All the information needs right here. So your boss has asked you to write an email describing your current duties and skills required for your job. If some jobs are overly demanding, you may redistribute job tasks or hire additional employees. Based on your own work or personal experience, write a well-organized message describing your duties, time spent on each task, and skills needed for your job. Provide enough details to make a clear record of your job. You can use actual names and describe actual tasks. You don't have to, I completely understand that. And address your report to the head of the organization. If you want to, you can just write dear boss or something like that. The organization could be a job, could be a student group, or it could be volunteer work. And don't make a list of complaints, just describe what you do in an objective tone. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. I know there are some jobs that are very chronological, like, you know, you go into work and we do this at 9 and we do this at noon and we do this at 3 and that sort of thing. And you may want to break it up that way. The other thing is a lot of our jobs kind of fall into some general categories, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that we do, but they probably fall into some general categories that capture most of what we do. If I were writing about my job, I would talk about how I, you know, teaching, you know, and then talk about what I do there. And then I would say, you know, time spent, you know, 15 hours per week, skill, you know, and skills required, you know, maybe class preparation, 10 hours a week, you know, and break it up like that. Some main headings and then some tasks underneath that. And it's up to you how you want to break that apart. Finally, 7.99, this is a reply memo. So you're scheduling appointments to interview a new project manager. This is also not in the textbook. So your boss is asking you to reschedule interviews, and you're going to do that, and then you're going to reply with the results for that. So here we go. It says your boss, Thomas Brady, has scheduled 3 appointments to interview applicants for an open project manager position on Thursday, July 1st, 2021. That's tomorrow. However, due to other issues, he must reschedule and hold interviews via web conferencing. He asks you to reschedule all the appointments for exactly 1 week later, Thursday, July 8th, 2021. He also wants a brief background summary for each candidate. You contact each candidate and arrange new times. Aaron Rogers, who's been a project manager for 15 years with the Bay Corporation, agrees to come in at 10:30. Derek Carr, who's a systems analyst with Vegas Enterprises, will come in at 11:30. And Matt Ryan, who has an MA degree and 12 years of experience at Falcon Industries, will come in at 9:30. And yes, when I was putting this question together a couple semesters ago, I had been reading ESPN that morning. So that's why I picked all quarterbacks. Anyway, you're also wondering whether Mr. Brady forgot to include Erin Andrews, the human resources manager, in the interview process. She usually helps Mr. Brady interview and select the best candidates. Write an email to Mr. Brady, including all the vital information he needs. So if you choose to do this one, again, you're going to want to be direct. You're going to want to open up and just say, I've rescheduled the project manager interviews for Thursday, July 8th, 2021. Simple enough. That tells you all the information. Make sure you include the job title, though. That's something I've noticed. Sometimes people leave that out. And that's kind of critical because I might not know if you just said I've rescheduled the interviews. I might be, okay, which ones? Maybe I've got project managers and maybe I've got, accountants on another day. So just, again, it's just being specific and with the information and just the day and date of the new interviews. So you might say, you know what, I've rescheduled the project manager interviews for Thursday, July 8th, 2021. Here's your schedule. And then go ahead and give them the schedule. And the things I can say there are, do it in chronological order, because usually the most important thing in someone's busy schedule is time, obviously place as well, but the time, because that would be my first question. If you came to me and said, you know what, I've rescheduled the project manager interviews for Thursday, July 8th. I'm like, great. And I would say when, and then you would have to, so make sure you tell me, because that's a really important thing. I know it's driven me crazy before. I had a boss once and I said, well, when are we doing the interviews? He said, later this week. I'm like, when is that? Thursday, Friday? Oh yeah, we're gonna do them Friday. Okay, great. What time? In the afternoon. And I think he must've been doing it just to torment me. But the point is just be specific, because people want to know when and where they're supposed to be somewhere. So go 9:30, the person you're interviewing, their background. 10:30, the person they're interviewing, their background. 11:30, the person you're interviewing, the background. And then you want to ask that final question, right? Would you like to include Erin Andrews in the interview process? Please call me if you have any questions. Thank you, and your name. So you will need to pick one of those 3 assignments, okay? And you'll use either Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or you can upload it as a PDF. Please do not use Apple